by the time we got to Woodstock, we were half a million strong.
On July 16th, Apollo 11 was launched carrying Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. This was no ordinary rocket launch. For eons, mankind had fantasized about venturing out into outer space and landing on another planet. And now that fantasy was becoming a reality. Apollo 11 was headed for the moon. Not exactly a planet, but being the closest massive object to Earth, landing there would prove the possibility of space travel, which grabbed the public's fascination.
It coasted around to the backside of the moon.
Roger, understand. Go for landing. 3,000 feet. You're looking great.
Lights forward.
60 seconds.
Lights on. Forward. Forward. 40 feet down, 2.5. Picking up some dust. Right shadow. 4 forward, drift into the right a little.
30 seconds.
Forward, drift. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass. You're very fine. I'm going to step off the limb. That's one small step for man. One giant leap for mankind. Oh, that looks beautiful from here. It has a start.
4 days later, all of America tuned in to watch Neil Armstrong be the first man to step foot on the moon. They reveled in the fact they had just witnessed one of the most remarkable moments in the history of mankind. The success of the mission sparked a public's obsession with space travel that would come to be a very common theme in movies and TV shows in the upcoming decade. Many wondered where mankind was headed, and what natural elements that we take for granted may be unknowingly sacrificed for this great advance. At this point, the public did not view the recreational use of hard drugs as a real danger like we do today, as they had not yet seen the true ugliness of their consequences. Brian Jones had fallen victim to the addictions of hard drugs and became estranged from the Rolling Stones, eventually leaving the very band he started. On the night of July 12th, his girlfriend came home to find him motionless at the bottom of a swimming pool. At 27 years of age, Brian joined the influential Robert Johnson as the fourth member of the 27 Club. His death was declared death by misadventure. In Ann Arbor, Michigan, John Sinclair is approached by an undercover female officer who asks to buy marijuana. Sinclair obliges and hands her 2 joints. He is arrested, charged with trafficking, and sentenced to prison for 10 years. Meanwhile, in Bethel, Michael and Artie were dealing with all the dilemmas of putting on a concert. Hippies began showing up very early for the show and hanging around, much to the disliking of local residents. Numerous big-name acts had jumped on the bill last minute. There was great buzz brewing. Many hoped Bob Dylan would hop on the bill as well. However, Bob Dylan, being a local, sided with the other locals on the disliking towards all the hippies congregating. A newly formed Led Zeppelin were asked to play the show and were about to, but instead took a gig in New Jersey that weekend. The Doors were asked and declined because they thought it would be a second-class repeat of Monterey Pop. John Lennon wanted to perform and was in Canada at the time, but was unable to attend the festival because he was not allowed in the country. Yasgur added a great complication to the organizers when he refused to allow them to build a fence around the concert area due to it having a negative effect on his cows. Abby Hoffman contacted Michael and Artie and demanded $10,000 to ensure there would be no unpleasant interruptions by the yippies. His demands were not met. When Lang woke up on August 13th, 2 days before the concert, he couldn't believe his eyes. Going to sleep the night before, there were groups of concert goers hanging around here and there. As he stood on the stage, he overlooked a crowd of 50,000 early birds and wondered if there were this many people now, how many would there be when the show started? There was, however, a far greater concern. All of these people just walked onto the field. No one sold them tickets or took the ones they had previously bought in record stores. Woodstock was shaping up to be a financial disaster. With less than 24 hours before the festival begins, Artie makes a spur-of-the-moment decision and phones up Warner Brothers and asks them to cough up $100,000 to document the festival. Pop festivals that were recorded and sold had not proven any success in the past, but surprisingly, Warner Brothers agrees and a few camera crews are sent out. Jeff Beck, a highly respected guitarist slated on the Woodstock bill, abruptly breaks up his band and drops off the bill the very night before the show. As the eve to the most epic concert ever held approaches, more and more young people are coming in greater numbers, many even walking down the sides of the roads. Everyone who feared rioting and chaos had been taken in by the gentle spirit emulated by all the youngsters. They realized that the kids only came to enjoy exactly what the poster had advertised.
3 days of peace and music.